Today, I'm going to explain a 2020 American fantasy movie called Upside Down Magic. The movie begins with Nori, who discovers her magical power while looking at a cat. Whiskers suddenly appears, and she somehow manages to transform herself into the exact cat. Her father is shocked when he learns that his daughter can also pull out wings in her cat form. 6 years later, she reveals that she is going to the Sage Academy, a place where every magic teenager like her is trained to control their abilities. Meanwhile, Nori's best friend Reina Carvajal also has a superpower, which is to control fire. It seems like Nori is having a hard time controlling her skill. She can transform into a cat, but with a beaver's tail and kangaroo's body shape. Long story short, the girls and the other students gather at the roadside. They are then welcomed by Scriff, who reveals that the academy is located inside the woods. While walking, Nori tries to interact with one of the students, but it seems like he is not interested in talking to her. The group eventually arrives at a portal. Nori and Reina enter the portal and are very impressed with the environment of the Sage Academy, where every student is given freedom to express their powers. Ms. Nightslinger, the headmaster of the academy, gives them a warm welcome, telling them that they are going to be trained to develop their magic in the Sage way. She then explains that Sage will put the students into 5 groups based on their talent, which are Fuzzies, who communicate with animals, Flickers, who can pull an object toward them, Flares, who control fire, Flyers, who can fly, and Fluxers, who have the power to transform into any animal at their will. However, she adds that the students are required to take a placement test to identify which of them are worthy to join the honors level classes. The Flares candidates are asked to light up a candle from a distance. Every student passes the test smoothly until a boy, Elliot Cohen, who casts smoke instead of fire. Finally, it is Reina's turn, and the assessors are impressed. Next, the Flyers are tested to fly low and hold their position for 30 seconds. This time, Andres, instead of flying low, he flies high and is unable to come down until Scriff helps him with stairs. The Flickers candidates are told to pull the vase toward them from a distance. However, Paloma's power allows her to push the objects instead of pulling it, almost hitting the assessors. Move to the Fuzzies, the candidates are required to guess the dog's name, favorite food, etc. correctly. Finally, the Fluxers candidates have to hold their kitten form for 6 seconds. It's Nori's turn. As expected, she transforms into a kitten with dragon's wings, which disappoints the assessors because she is different. After every student is assessed, they are told to see the test result. Reina gets her place into the Flares honor level class, while Nori receives UDM class, which stands for Upside Down Magic. The Sage students will practice in the building and will be given a uniform, but the UDM students have to accept the fact that they will be learning in an underground bunker. It is then revealed that all students who failed in the placement test are sent to the UDM class, including Nori. She still doesn't want to accept the reality, feeling that she was outstanding in the test. Instead of practicing magic, they will study school stuff like math with Scriff to keep them productive until their magic fades away. Ms. Nightslinger shows up and explains to the UDMs that they are unteachable and will be a threat to humanity since the UDMs are prone to shadow magic, which cause chaos and destruction. Thus, they have to let their magic die and live as a normal human being. On the other side, Reina attends her very first training, where the teacher tells them that 2 best students from each talent will be chosen to represent the school in the Sage match. The winner of the match will perform in the upcoming The Annual Founders Day. To sharpen her firebender skill, Reina is told to pop popcorn using her fire. She is distracted and the popcorn becomes overcooked, which disappoints the teacher. A girl named Chandra secretly observes Reina. The next day, Nori is very excited because she thinks that they are going to practice to control the flying broom. But it is just a normal broom and they are ordered to sweep trash. Nori comes across the Fluxers, who are taking notes of what the teacher is saying and secretly following the class. She intervenes and tries to prove herself in front of the others. As expected, she turns into a weird creature instead. Scriff warns her not to do it again. At lunch, Reina does not interact with the others, while Nori becomes closer to her new friends. Reina suddenly becomes very excited when she sees her best friend. However, as she walks toward her, a teacher appears and stops her, telling her that they don't interact with UDMs. Not giving up, Nori tells her friends that she plans to show up at the Sage match to show everybody that UDMs are still worthy. The following day, all the students, including the UDMs, keep practicing and improving their power. At some point, the teacher is satisfied with one of the students' popcorn while Reina still struggles to make a perfect popcorn. She finally does not overcook it, but the teacher is unimpressed with the taste. The overwhelmed Reina meets Chandra, who offers her help to unlock her potential. She then finally catches up with Nori, pretending that she is okay. At the library, Reina suddenly discovers a black, mysterious book. Since then, the book keeps following her. That night, Nori prepares for the Sage match, but her friends are pessimistic since she keeps mutating into other animals. Meanwhile, Reina eventually opens the book where the shadow magic is summoned, possessing Reina's body. At the Sage match, she becomes extremely good with her firebender skill and wins the match against her rival, meaning that she will perform at the Founders' Day. Suddenly, a wild Nori appears and once again tries to prove herself to the assessors. Unfortunately, she fails again. She transforms into a huge, terrifying creature, and Reina casts a powerful fireball attacking her best friend. She apologizes to her since she still doesn't understand why she becomes very strong. Ms. Nightslinger becomes furious and threatens to terminate the UDMs if they don't comply. Her friends are very disappointed with Nori, thinking that nothing can change their fate as the Upside Downs. Scriff finally confesses that he feels bad seeing every UDM's dream get crushed all this time and realizes that he has to do something about it. He tells the UDMs that they only need to focus on what they can do instead of following the Academy's standard. He also reveals that he is actually a UDM. He is unique. He manages to control the animals to obey him, but only when he is singing. After that, he decides to train them to master their unique magical power. Later that night, Reina is shocked when she finds Chandra waiting for her in her room. Chandra takes the mysterious book away, but somehow the book returns to her desk. The next day, the UDMs begin their training in the woods. The main objective is to focus on controlling their own body. A few moments later, Andres is challenged to fly without relying on his counterweight bag. At first, he refuses to do so since he doesn't know how high he can fly. Scriff manages to convince him, and he finally understands the limit of his power. Meanwhile, Paloma also becomes confident with her power. Elliot is ordered to cast smoke to get rid of a beehive, but he fails. Scriff then has to use his singing power to control the bees. On the other hand, Nori is told to create statues of combined animals as much as she can to sharpen her visualization. They train hard every day, all night, and eventually manage to master their magical power. Chandra keeps haunting Reina. Reina also realizes that Chandra is invisible to other students, meaning that only she can see her. That night, Reina is manipulated, and the shadow magic gains full control over her body since she finally lets it in. Turns out that the theory is wrong. The shadow magic can possess anyone, not only UDMs. Nori approaches Reina and discovers that the evil within her is going to destroy everybody. Nori returns to her friends and plans a strategy to stop Reina. It's the D-Day of the annual Founders' Day where Reina is chosen to perform her firebender skill in front of everybody. She purposely casts a huge fireball and reveals the shadow magic to the audiences. She transforms into a terrifying huge creature. The students attempt to stop her, but it doesn't work as their magical powers are just too common and weak, especially the Fluxers who transform into useless animals. A few moments later, the UDMs show up. Using his pushing power, she prevents the evil spirit from splitting while Elliot uses his smoke power and Andres uses his flying power to distract it. Finally, Nori transforms herself into a dragon kitten, to twist the creature's body around. It eventually falls down, and Miss Nightslinger orders the students to finish off the creature. Nori prevents them from doing so since Reina is her best friend. She encourages her best friend, and Reina manages to destroy the evil spirit from inside. Afterwards, the headmaster decides to erase the UDM program, and students with unique magical powers are allowed to take part in the school, including Scriff. At the end of the movie, The mysterious book falls off the shelf as it opens on a specific page, indicating that the shadow magic is still there. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.